What part of the brain controls memory? There are several parts of the brain where memories are stored depending on the type of memories. Explicit memories are long-term memories that are stored in the hippocampus, the neocortex, and the amygdala. Implicit memories are also long-term memories that are stored in the basal ganglia and the cerebellum. And working memory and short-term memory are stored in the prefrontal cortex. But before going into details, let's define memory. Memory is the faculty of processing, storing, and remembering experiences and knowledge. It is what makes us and what makes our identity. Memories are processed, stored, and reactivated in specific neurons that interact with each other through synapses, which are known as synaptic plasticity. Memories are made stronger or weaker depending on dynamic interactions between these groups of specialized neurons. Memory is divided into short-term memory or working memory and long-term memory, which includes explicit and implicit memories. But what does it mean to have an explicit memory? Explicit memories are conscious memories that recall events that happen to us, also known as episodic memories, or that recall general knowledge of the world, also known as semantic memories. They are formed and stored in a specific group of neurons found in the hippocampus, neocortex, and amygdala. What does the hippocampus do for explicit memory? The hippocampus is the structure of the brain where episodic memories are formed and stored. It is situated in the temporal lobe of the brain. In addition to its role in long-term memory, the hippocampus is also involved in learning, flexible and goal-oriented behavior, navigation, and spatial orientation. What does the neocortex do for explicit memory? The neocortex serves as a storage area for temporary memories provided by the hippocampus, and that are stored in a form of semantic memories. It is the largest part of the cerebral cortex, and is also involved in sensory perception of outside stimuli, spatial reasoning, language, and the planning, control, and execution of voluntary movements. What does the amygdala do for explicit memory? The amygdala is an almond-shaped structure of the brain's temporal lobe, involved in the formation and storage of emotional and fear-associated memories. In addition to its role in memory, the amygdala is also involved in emotional responses, such as fear and anxiety, and decision-making in response to external stimuli. The next type of memory is implicit memory. Implicit memories are unconscious or automatic memories that do not require conscious or voluntary recall to influence our behavior. Implicit memories are divided into priming memories and procedural memories. A priming memory is an unconscious improvement or change in dealing with a stimulus because of a previous experience with the same or a related stimulus. Procedural memory is associated with performing tasks without being consciously aware of doing them. An example is the capacity of riding a bike even if we did not cycle for a long period. Implicit memories are formed and stored in a specific group of neurons found in the basal ganglia and cerebellum. What does basal ganglia do for implicit memory? Basal ganglia are structures resting deep within the brain and are involved in the storage of procedural memories. Basal ganglia are also involved in many functions of the brain, including cognition, emotion, procedural learning, conditional learning, habit learning, and control of voluntary motor movements. What does the cerebellum do for implicit memory? The cerebellum is situated at the back of the brain and is involved in procedural memory, but also in motor learning and classical conditioning. In addition, the cerebellum is involved in controlling the body balance, coordination, movement, and motor skills. Next, what is working memory? Working memory is a temporary storage of a small amount of information, and without manipulation of the information stored ready for immediate mental use. And what is short-term memory? Theoretical concepts differentiate between working memory and short-term memory, as short-term memory is suggested to refer to the maintenance, while working memory involves a combination of maintenance and manipulation of information. Working memory and short-term memory are mediated by the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is situated at the front part of the frontal lobe, and is involved in the storage of a small amount of information. In addition, the prefrontal cortex is involved in many functions of the brain, including executive processes, information processing, attention, judgment, behavioral organization, and certain aspects of language and speech. Now that we know what are the different types of memory, let's talk about the types of memory loss. Memory loss is known as amnesia, which can be caused by head or emotional trauma, Alzheimer's disease, brain tumor, alcoholism, seizures, encephalitis, or stroke. There are several types of amnesia. Retrograde amnesia is the incapacity to recall events or information from the past. Anterograde amnesia is the incapacity to recall new events or information following an amnesia incident. Post-traumatic amnesia is a state of confusion with the incapacity to recall new events immediately after a traumatic incident. Transient global amnesia is a temporary sudden and total loss of short-term memory. Dissociative amnesia is the incapacity to recall personal information following trauma or stress. Finally, infantile amnesia is the incapacity to recall events or information from childhood. In conclusion, memory is a complex process that involves several parts of the brain that process, store, and reactivate conscious and unconscious information from the past, and when we need them. Without memories, it is impossible to know who we are, what we are doing, and what we are planning to do. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share for more videos like this.